Hi, this is Lemon Hawk here, or Caitlin, or all of my nicknames aside. But I wanted to create a quick tutorial on how to create my starting soon screen, which kind of looks like this. That helped. The blast helped. I know you're hungry. You're not eating yet, mister. My dogs get so... No, you're not. We're not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Way to go. You killed me. The process to basically filming are pretty simple, but I'm just going to walk you through how I create my my starting screen. So a couple things to note is that my main starting soon screen is a is something off of Etsy. So I open up a new canvas, and I do a lot of this on Canva. It's just simple that you could probably use any there to create this. But my main portion of my starting soon screen is from Etsy. Basically, the background and the animations are Etsy. And if you're interested in what that looks like, I'm going to link it in my description of the video. So it's going to be there for you to see. But basically, when I start out to make my video, my starting soon video, is I open up a new canvas on Canva, and I set it to, right here it says 1920 pixels by 1080. So that's going to be your normal screen size, usually your OBS screen size, anything like that on Twitch. So that's what I start with. So the first thing that I do is that I import the actual video itself. My starting soon video itself is what I start with. And like I said, I bought this off of Etsy, and I linked it below, but it's only 10 seconds long, right? So this is 10 seconds, and this is what it does. It bounces like this, right? So the animation and the design is all Etsy. But what I have done is I basically took that and expanded upon it. So to create slides and all of that kind of stuff using the same kind of theme, so that way it results in something that I can show you, that I've shown you, and that you see on my channel. So the first thing I do once I have the video, it's 10 seconds long. I start by first centering it. Usually on Canva you can get the centers pretty easily. So I kind of center it well, and or at least attempt to center it. Sometimes it doesn't always correctly, but you want to make it big enough, 1080 by 19 or 1920 by 1080. Start with, and if I can hold on to this little that, there we go. But I start with that. You want to make sure you get all four corners covered, because then it's going to end up with a little white thing around your video, and that's what you don't want. So, and then once you get it big enough, I kind of want to center it more towards the middle on mine, so that way it looks kind of centered. So that is the first portion of the video that you see. So just a reminder, this is what it kind of looks like. It bounces. It's pretty cute. That whole thing. So from here, this is where the kind of edits start occurring. So right after I have this, what I do is I kind of duplicate. So I make a second page down here. This is kind of like your timeline. So this is 10 seconds long. That's that first video. And then here would be your new page. So I could honestly, I think I could just do, so I duplicate, yeah, you can. And then I'm just going to delete this one at the moment. But I can click on it. So now I have two of these, and they're the exact same thing, right? Each 10 seconds long. We can work on duration and all of that and timing later, but for now I'm just kind of doing the structure and showing you how to design this. So starting, we have our duplicate, 2 of these videos back to back. So we go to the second page. So the second video. So on my starting soon, what I do is I have my socials on a QR code. And the way that I kind of did that is I kind of started by blocking out the wording on this page. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want it to stay starting soon and all of that stuff, but I still want to keep the design on the outside. So the way that I did that to start with is elements. I believe it's elements. And then you get one of these boxes. Color, it's okay. It's this weird color's fine for the moment. We're gonna fix that later. But I kind of drag it to kind of cover up writing because we don't want the writing starting soon to show in the main video, right? Because this is a different slide. So I kind of do that, and then that leaves all of the extra designs around the video intact. So with this, I kind of want to change the color, obviously, because this color is not giving what it needs to give, right? So we go to add a new color, and then there's this little eyedropper, right? So we click that little eyedropper, and we can pick the color. So I'm going to go with this basic gray, so it covers it up, and then there you go. The words are no longer there, and you have your little box. So from here, it's really pretty simple. So, for example, for me, what I have done is my next slide is my socials, right? So I'm going to go into text and add a text box. And for now, it's going to put it right here, but we're going to move it. So I start with socials, for example, because I'm just going to reinvent my entire, or duplicate my entire video just to kind of show you. So I start with socials. So it's itty bitty, but works for the time being. So you can grab it and you can drag it. So for me, I have it about here. Like I center it within the video. I kind of want to pull it down a little bit. So about like there. So the next kind of thing is I need to change the font, very obviously. So for me, I think I wasn't the Abstracted Dream. No, it was, so I think it was the old standard. So I set my font, and I usually leave the color the same. And then I increase the size to something that looks pretty big for the screen. Remember, this is 1920 by 80, so it can be a little bit on the bigger side. So you can increase the size regardless. Something like that would work fine. So from there, you can also go in, add an underline or anything like that you want to add extras. You can do all of that kind of stuff, or change the color of the wording, anything like that. But for our sake and purposes here, I'm going to leave it white just to kind of show you. So from there, you want to get a QR. For me, I use a QR code just because it shows, and that QR code takes you directly to like my LinkedIn bio stuff. So it's really easy to go through my LinkedIn bio and all of that. So I'm just going to show you. I already have it uploaded. So I create it. You can get it off your LinkedIn bio or anything like that. So that is the QR code. The issue with this is that it is all black and transparent. So what we need to do is we need to add color back into this. I really want it to be this color. The way that I do that, I believe what I did last time was that I put it in a box. I put this box over it so that way you could see it better. So for that, I kind of just size this little box to cover your QR code really quickly, like that. So that's about the size of your QR code. And then what I do is I go up here to the top position, and then I send it backward. So now that it's white. So now it's white and the QR code is on top, so that way you can scan it if you want it. And that is how I made like the socials page. And then for mine, I have, I believe my third panel is like a command thing, and it's a cute little animal. So to do that, very simple. So again, we can come back to our first screen, right? This is our default, and we can duplicate it again. So it's going to create a duplication down here. So for me, I liked my socials first, up after the default. So I'm going to move my other one over. So I'm going to move the panels over. I just realized that this is kind of not even. There we go. So now I have my starting soon screen, and then it has my socials, and now it has this default again, right? So here, we kind of have to do the same thing as we did at the very beginning. We create this extra box, and we go in and size it accordingly, right? You could probably copy paste it and do all of that fun jazz and just edit it. For me, it's really not big of a deal. We can just change the color, go back, pick the color, there, fixed, right? So here I kind of do a commands page, which highlights one of my commands. So the way I did that was, of course, I go back in, add a text box, and again, it's really tiny. So you're gonna have to bring that up, pick where it's gonna be, right? And then change my font and size. So I increase the size, and usually I would want it to be kind of the same across the board. So I use the same font and the same font size. But I'm not really worried about making sure the same font sizes are across because I'm kind of just doing a quick video showing you how you do this. So once you have that, come in and you can add a command, right? You can add I like to highlight one of the commands that I really enjoy. So what I did was I found an image on Google or anywhere, or you can use an emote, you can use one of your emotes, you can use your VTuber, anything like that. You can add that. So what I did is I grabbed the image that I want, which is this cute little cat, and I kind of dragged him to the corner over here, right? So he's over here in the corner. I also probably will resize him a little bit, right? Because he's a little bit big. So I kind of make him smaller. And then what I did was I went into elements, and then if it still says on here, yeah. And then I used, right, a little thought bubble. So the thing with this is that we're going to have to flip it, right? Because those little thoughts need to come on the other side. So we have to flip the positioning around. So one way to do that would be, I'm trying to see if you can just flip it from here, but you really can't. Okay. Flip right here. Duh. So you're going to flip it horizontally, right? So now it looks like the words are coming on the right side. So then you kind of drag it to him, and he's got a little thought bubble, right? So then the rest of it's kind of easy. You just go in and you create another text, and you label your whatever command that you want to highlight. So for me, I have a randomized book tab or a book command that gives you a book recommendation when you go into my channel. I pulled it out so that way it's easier to see. And then you can just drag it into place. Kind of like center it a little bit. You can still center it. Luckily with Canva, you can center it really well. So you can do that. And then I'm going to increase the size a little bit so it's a little bit bigger. So then when I go out here and I click and undo it, it says book, right? Of course, you can size it better and do all of that fun stuff on your own. But for example, that's kind of how it looks. So now we have 30 seconds created of the starting soon screen, of the entire started soon screen. So the last one is arguably kind of the hardest because there's multiple layers. So the last part of my starting soon screen, I don't know why I created that. We just need to do. So again, you want it to duplicate, make another video screen, duplicate right there, right? And then we have to drag it into position because I don't want my video to be first. I want it to be last. So then I drag it here. So again, we have the same kind of process. I was saying that this is a little bit harder because this involves multiple layers. For now, you're just doing the base layer, and then we have to go into another program to add the videos, right? So this is my featured video or featured clips kind of setup. So here I'm just doing a little box here to cover up the words again, just so that way we still have the same colors and same design, just without the starting soon words. So I'm going to go in, change my color, voila. All right, so from here, it's the same process, right? We add our text box, we label it featured clip, and then we drag and drop over here where it should be, up a little bit, probably right about there. So, and then I'm going to, of course, change the font and then change the font size. Again, I'm not really worried about it being standard right now across the board. Those tweaks can come later. But for the video purposes, I kind of want to keep it organized like this. So once we have that, that's pretty much it. This is all we can really do. From here, it's just a blank space because we have to take it into a different program to add the video itself. So the way I get it kind of nested where it's on this and it plays the video, we have to do that separately. So that is the design portion of it. The rest of it just involves editing. But this is basically what you're resulting in. So you have your animation for your first screen, and then, so this lasts, well, 10 seconds. Then you go into your book, right? Your commands, and then you have everything else. So one thing that I am seeing that's an issue is that this little bar is not quite matched in color. So we're gonna have to go back and fix that real quick. The bar itself is not colored right. So coming back here, we can click on that layer and we can customize the color a little bit more. For some reason, it's not quite right. So I'm gonna go back into color, grab my little dropper. I think that's better, and change the color again. So hopefully, and then you can just go into each of these, click that bar, try to line the colors up better. So hopefully it's less noticeable. Come over here. My clips are out of order again. There. And then you do the same thing as you did before, fixing the colors. So I kind of wanted to fix my colors because they're not quite what I wanted. That's better. Yeah. So once you have that and it's all set up, you're going to want to download this to work with it. So you're going to do your MP4 video, and then all of your pages, quality, you want it 1080p, all of that kind of stuff. So you're going to download it, right? And then once it downloads, we'll go into the next part and show you how to do, how to put the featured clip into it and finish all the finishing touches. Okay, so once you have your Canva video downloaded, the next step is to use a editing software to create the rest of the video. Mainly for the featured track. That's the part that we still have to create, right? And then, of course, if you want to add background music or anything like that, you would also do it here. So the program that I end up using is CapCut. I like CapCut a lot. It works really well on your phone. There's also a PC version as well that works really good for anything like this. So to start with this, we have to import kind of the materials we're going to need for this video. So I'm going to go into downloads and download the clip that the video from Canva that I just made, right? That 40-second long video. So that's the first thing we're going to add here. Second thing you want to add would be an import, would be the clip that you want shown, right? Whatever clip or whatever scene that you want be featured. So for me, I'm featuring this clip, this funny clip that I pulled from one of my streams recently, and I want to highlight that. So this is one of the featured ones that I want to highlight. So the way that I do that is I will go ahead and import it now too. So you have both your main video, right? And then you have your clip that you want to use. So to do this, it just takes some editing. So luckily with CapCut, it's pretty easily done. So, for example, you want to drag this down to here, create your video so far. So this is just putting your video into the file. So all of this is pretty simple, right? You have what we just created. And then in order to create this extra piece, there's a couple things we need to do. So one thing we need to do is we need to find where the program switches. So you know you have the different slides. You have the featured clip, you have this slide, you have this slide, you have this slide. So I'm going to go to featured clip. When it switches to featured clip, which is here, you can use your arrow keys to kind of pick the frame, but this is where it switches, right? 30 seconds out of 40 seconds. The reason why we want to do this is because we want to make sure just this clip is extended, because chances are your featured video is going to be longer than 10 seconds. So once you find that spot, you can clip it, or not clip it, you can split it. And that creates two different pieces, right? You have the rest of your video that we've already did, and then you had the featured piece. And that's important because we want to just extend this piece, not the entire video. So one way to do that would be to copy it, and then you can paste the clip again, right? So that way you have multiple of the same. Just that final piece, right? Just that final featured clip piece. So I did it twice. I copied it and pasted it. So now it's 20 seconds instead of however long it was. So the way to get your featured clip nested into this would be to add it. So you're going to add it onto this, the line right above the video that was already there. So now you have two layers. So here, you want to make sure you line it up exactly where the split happens, right? Right when you switch to the featured clip. So that's about here. You want to make sure that is lined up. So now you see that this featured clip, it takes up that whole screen, right? So one of the things we have to do is we need to resize this so it looks like it's nested essentially inside of your clip. So one way to do that is just to drag it. So I dragged it and then I kind of center it. Again, luckily CapCut, it will show you guidelines to show you that you're centered. So I kind of centered it in there and then I can resize it as needed, right? So now it looks like it's kind of nested in there. So I kind of center it and then nest it. So now we have it to where the video is nested in here. And then this will play on top of this video. So the next kind of step would be to fix this issue. So right now, when we play the video from here, it shows the clip, but then it goes to the black screen behind it, right? So another thing we have to do here is to paste another empty featured clip here. So that way it ends at the same spot. So now, once you copy and paste it, you go here. So for example, we have featured clip and it plays and then it ends at the same time. So for start, we can start it and just kind of show you. So we kind of start, we have our obvious default starting soon screen. It says, hey, we're starting soon, blah, 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 blah. So that's 10 seconds long, right? And then it's going to jump to your socials or whatever you want on this page. So again, shows you that screen. And then it shows you your command, right? My little command kitty. Again, you can have whatever you want here. But this is kind of just a default example. And then when you go into your featured clip, it's going to play this little clip. And it plays the video associated with that clip. So luckily what you can do here, and what's great about this example, is that you don't have to remake this entire situation every single time. So what I can do is now if I save this file like this, I can go in and just delete this off of the video, right? I can go in and delete it, and I can change which video is featured. So I can import a different clip and add it and only have to add and change out the clips, because sometimes you can get stale if you watch the same clips over and over and over again. So what I ended up doing is I saved this file just as is. So all I have to do is go in, pick a different video, a different featured clip, drop it into place. Everything's good to go, right? I do have to resize it, but that's pretty much it. So the only really issue is that you have to resize it. But that's pretty much it. And then you can just change out that one piece. It takes less than like 5 minutes to do. So now I have a different featured clip. So one other thing that you can add here to make it a little more cohesive is I put music in the background, especially during this front piece, right? This front 30 seconds has no music or no sound. So one of the things that I do is I add background noise just to that. So I pick a song that I want to use. Could be whatever it is, whatever you want. So like, let's say this, I'm just going to choose this one for an example. So we bring it down here to your audio tab, right? So now the front end has audio, but the issue is that this is audio all the way through the video. So here you can go in, you can cut the video, cut the audio to pull it out. So I want the audio to stop here. So this is where I would split it again and then just delete this. So I would go in and delete. So now there's only audio on this first end of thing, right? On this first piece. Because the rest of this should be the audio from your clip. The rest of the featured clip should just be the audio of your clip itself. So this should just be playing the sounds that you have on the clip that you're featuring. And that is simply pretty much it. So this makes about a minute long video. For the one that I used and I created with the clip I created, this results in about a minute long video. So that gives you a whole minute of stuff to look at when you're waiting for a stream to start. So for me, I do a 5-minute long, I usually do a 5-minute long starting soon screen. So this plays 5 times. Once you import it into OBS, you can have it you can have it loop. And that's what I end up doing, is I just have it looped, but at least with the featured video, it gives your people something to watch. So your community can come in and they have something to actually watch while they're waiting for you to come on. So they can watch this little clip, just in case they've actually missed the stream, they can catch up. It's a really funny moment and you want to feature it. There you go. But this is really customizable. Like I said, you can change out what it says. You don't have to use social media. You don't have to use a little cat with commands. You don't have to use the song. You could choose anything. But it results in a very, very simple starting soon screen that actually looks decent and gives you a bunch of things to add on. But that's pretty much it, and it results in this. And then the last little part of this is just to save it. So you can go in and export the video, so that way you can use it later. So for me, I have it set. You can change your title, starting soon, blah, blah, blah. Save it to where you want to save it. So I save it starting soon, blah, 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 all of this stuff, and where you want to save it as. So then you export. And it's going to ask you to, you want to like send it to YouTube or anything like that, which you don't. So I would hit cancel. So now you have it exported and you can actually use it in OBS and then do a loop and all of that stuff. So I hope that this was helpful and useful. Leave your comments or anything that you want to learn more about. But that's just kind of how I create my general starting soon screen for my channel. But yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll involve all of that. But I hope that this was kind of useful into how to feature a clip and all of that kind of stuff inside of your starting soon screen.